how's it been going since I last saw you two?
I think it's been going pretty well.
I think it's great, actually.
Yeah, do you think that there was maybe more or less fighting or anything that we'd been talking about last time?
Less fighting, I think more compromising and realizing that not everyone has to be right.
Yeah, that's great. So I just want to mention that last week I think there definitely was a lot more tension than right now. So I think it's important to address why that was happening. And we agreed that you guys don't think you spend a lot of time together. And that might have been causing the problems that have been happening. So, however, the previous meeting also went well because you guys worked together on forming 3 goals that you wanted to accomplish by this session. So last meeting we set those 3 goals, and Ashley, I was wondering if you could explain to me what those 3 goals were again.
The first one was to have dinner at home at least 4 nights a week instead of being with my friends. And then the second goal was to do at least one activity with my mom so we can hang out more. And then the third was to come home every night on curfew, whatever my parents set for me, and try not to be intoxicated when I came home.
Yeah, well, that's great. I'm glad that you remembered those. So Ashley, do you think the first goal went good? Do you think that how do you think eating together went? How many times did you actually get to come home?
I was able to come home probably 3 nights a week, I think. And I thought it went really well. I mean, my mom's a pretty good cook, so I really liked having homemade meals.
That's good. So, Mom, how do you think that the first goal went?
I think it went well. The first day was a little rocky. I think she would have rather been with her friends. But towards the third time that we had dinner together, she actually got a little involved and helped me. So that was a nice bonding experience.
Yeah. Ashley, can you describe how you think it helped the relationship?
It was really nice just to be able to eat and have time and spend time with my parents. I felt like we got a little deeper in our conversations and we were able to talk about what I really want to do with the rest of my life and what colleges I want to go to and apply to, so that was really exciting.
That's great. So as I understand it, you both are agreeing that you've made some progress in that area.
Yes,
that's
definitely.
Great. So, Crystal, for the second goal, what happened? What kind of activity did you guys do?
We actually went and got mani-pedis. I realized that her favorite color is pink when I would have never guessed it. So, I mean, it was good. It was a nice bonding experience. We were able to kind of talk a little bit more about some serious issues, and I realized that she's actually probably not as sexually active as I thought, so that's kind of a relief for me.
Yeah, that's great, because I know we had pregnancy has always been an issue, or you really basically were making these assumptions you realized, and kind of just talking, you guys think that maybe you've been learning more about each other. So that's great. It really does sound like that you two both agree that even the second goal was a good experience. Do you think it was a good experience?
Yeah, I really enjoyed being able to just talk about girl stuff and, talk to her about boys, because I feel like I haven't been able to talk to her about that for a long time. So.
Yeah, well, I just want to take time to mention now that it even looks like you guys have gotten closer. I mean, let's think back to the first session when, Ashley was slouched down and crossing her arms, and you guys were facing away from each other, so I think that's a really good thing to note. So how did the third one go?
I'll let you kind of take that.
The third one was really hard for me to do because I obviously like to stay out with my friends, and I get a lot of pressure to drink with them because that's all they do, and some of them, even do weed a little bit. But that was really difficult because I realized that alcohol is a factor every time I'm with my friends, and it really is a very prominent problem in my life. And but I don't want to give up my friends because I really appreciate them, and I don't think that they're bad people. They just like to drink all the time and smoke sometimes, and I don't find that a problem. It was very hard for me to be sober around them though, And there was a couple of nights that I don't know if my mom knew, but I was under the influence. So, but I would say majority, I was able to come home on time and be sober.
Okay, so from what you just said, it does seem that you've thought about how alcohol is affecting your life, but not really sure how to deal with it. And I can see that there's kind of discrepancy because you realize you're not so sure if you like to do it, but it's more of to be with your friends. So is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so I think I might be noticing a theme of friends and their influence on you. So, Mom, what did you think about this third goal? What did you think?
I think it went well. It was nice to have her home at a decent time and not feel so anxious about it. I do think that it might be the next step is to maybe meet her friends, because then it would just be like a comfort level thing, and she has made it very aware that they are her friends and they're not going anywhere. So maybe if we can kind of have a boundary and all that kind of stuff, it would just work out best.
Yeah. So maybe a goal that we can set this time or in the future soon is meeting friends. And that's what your mom thinks is that. Do you think that would be a good idea?
I think it would, as long as she wasn't rude to them and was open to the suggestion of meeting them and being nice to them, maybe having a barbecue or something.
Yeah.
They would like that.
Yeah, and so I would just like to discuss the word, rude or nice. Like what do you, if you got to picture and choose how your mom would act towards your friends, how would that be?
Well, sometimes she just has like that attitude that she's better, and kind of just looking like, oh, they're here, like, oh, you don't want to go to college. I feel like those kind of comments would be the rude aspect. I mean, I don't know if she would say it, but if she did, that's what I would consider rude. And I don't think that she would be mean to them at all, but just like kind of condescending comments is what I would consider rude.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that makes sense. And so you're not really sure, and you're kind of just assuming what might happen. And so I think it would be a really good idea for you to meet the friends and in an environment either of your choosing, if you'd like to be at your house. I think that would be a good idea. So now that we have discussed some of these past goals, I would like to check in with you guys on your homework assignments. So last week I assigned a sleep chart to you. How did the sleep chart go?
Actually, I have it here.
Yeah.
It went fairly well. The nights that she was home on time, I definitely slept better. I didn't wake up as often. There was one night in particular where she did come a little late, and I was worried that she had been under the influence.
Yeah.
That night I did realize that anxiety was a little higher, but overall there's an improvement, and I can tell.
Yeah, I think that's great that you noticed that, and you are seeing that just by writing it down, that maybe that even helps soothe you and have less anxiety. So I think if you would like that we would keep doing this throughout the sessions, would that be a good idea?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Okay, so I think that now we talked about this homework, later we'll talk about in the session what we should be doing to further the progress. So I think it would be important to discuss in the next session further ways to reduce the anxiety, not even just with a sleep chart. So I think that we've made some good progress.
I agree.
So now transitioning to this current session, I was just wondering if there was any particular goal you think you really struggled at or may have been the biggest problem.
There was just one night that I really didn't follow the rules, I guess.
Okay, can you further elaborate on rules, I guess?
Well, that's the night that she's talking about that I didn't come home on curfew, and I was under the influence and stuff.
Okay, so do you think that that would be a good area to start with today? What would you guys like to begin with?
I guess I would just like to begin with agreeing with her on that this is the issue.
Okay.
The following morning was doing laundry, and found some marijuana still left in her pocket. So I know it was more than just alcohol that was being done. I just wanted to wait till we got here to discuss it.
Okay.
So maybe just focusing on that for this session.
Okay, yeah, I think that'd be a good idea that for this session we will just focus on the problem, the main problem, and just being really open and honest with each other, because this is the place I think you guys, communicate the best, and I want to transfer that communication into the real world. So, but yeah, why don't we have you guys fully discussed the feelings and what went on about the drugs? No? So I think that's a good place to start today, especially, I think our focus today will be about the drugs and alcohol. So let's see, so just paint a picture of my head. So when you think of the problem of what happened, or when you guys got most upset at each other, what did it look like?
It was intense. It's one of those things where I think we've gotten better at it. Prior, it probably would have been a lot of walking away, slamming doors and stuff. This time around, it was fair, I guess. I don't even think she really knows I know about it. I kind of bit my tongue because I wanted to handle it in the best way possible. So, I don't know. I think she handled it better too, as far as her behaving appropriate the following day. I always notice that after she goes out on a night and does whatever, she's usually pretty aggressive talking towards me the following day. So that went okay, I guess.
Okay, so you mentioned that you really haven't talked about it. So the fact that she might be using marijuana. So right now, why don't we discuss would you like to tell your mother, or would you like to know, really, so it's out in the open, what's going on with drug use?
Well, usually me and my girlfriends usually just drink wine coolers or whatever every day, but this guy that I really like said, "You want to try?" And then I really liked it. He said he'd give me a bag for free, so I didn't really think much of it, I guess, because I like the feeling. It really enhanced my drunk state, and I really enjoyed that. And I wanted to impress him, because obviously I really like him. So yeah, that's why I did it. And I know that that's not how to get someone to like you, but I really like this guy, and I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I mean, I know that it's obviously illegal, and I kind of forgot that the bag was there. I thought I put it somewhere else, but I obviously didn't.
So how do you feel about what she just said?
I mean, I think she's smart. She knows that it's not the best way to get a relationship started. I'm glad she recognizes that it probably wasn't the best thing to do. I'm a little ashamed that she was trying to get the next buzz up, more or less. But I think as far as communication-wise, I'm glad she's actually opening up and being willing to share this with me.
Yeah, so like I said before, we wanted to work on communication, and by you guys having that discussion, what did it feel like? Was it helpful?
I mean, I like that I'm able to open up to her now, because I don't want to be a pothead all the time. I don't want to turn into one, but I did do it, and I did take the bag. And
so do you think in the future, if something like this would happen, could you go to your mom?
I feel like I could now that it's kind of all out in the open.
Yeah, I think
she understands what's going on.
That's a really good step. So, like I said, my goal is just to get you guys to communicate like this in the real world, and I think we're really getting there.